I was looking for schools for my own daughter. My own experiences in education also made me feel that it is not a very human space. See, many people would be unhappy about education that their children are getting, right? There is a different world where education is looked at differently, and I would want to explore that. Waldorf looks at the whole human being as an entity which has feelings, as an entity which is more wholesome.
What is the Waldorf philosophy?
Rudolf Steiner, who gave this entire philosophy, he coined a word called anthroposophy, which essentially means the wisdom of human being.
Namaskar. Welcome to my podcast, Golden Nuggets. Golden Nuggets is about the conversations that we have with our guests each week. And here we kind of delve into their lives deeper and we understand their journeys better. These journeys bring a lot of perspectives into our lives. Perspectives से हम clarity draw out करते हैं. And clarity is something that brings a lot of joy in our lives. Our today's guest is Mrs. Gurpreet Kaur. She is the co-founder and the director at the Uday Waldorf Inspired School in Jaipur. Today we will explore the philosophy of the Waldorf Academy and we will also delve deep into her journey of how she started the school, of how her journey has been, her struggles, her triumphs, her challenges through building this up. Stay tuned, enjoy the show. Thank you so much. Welcome Gurpreet to the podcast Golden Nuggets. And I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to be having a conversation with someone like you, who's herself so doing wonderful work. And yeah, so thank you for having me here.
So for the context, I want to give a context to the audience. Basically, Gurpreet runs a school, Uday Waldorf, and my son Akshat goes to the school. He's been the part of Uday since last 5 years and I'm super happy. So Gurpreet, what kind of inspired you to start the school?
So Uday, this year is completing 10 years of his journey. So yes, it's a landmark year in itself. So if I go back 10 years and look into, my life at that time and what really happened. So I was working in a corporate before I got into this journey. And I was looking for schools for my own daughter. That's how I thought of education to begin with. And usually we would have these conversations along with friends as to, what education should be like or how is it happening. And just through some, like how you get these advertisements and things like that, it seemed like that education world is changing, like the playway methods and things like that. But when I visited the schools and whatever I was seeing around, with the friends and families, children going to the school, I somehow felt it's just the same thing happening in a new packaging. There was not much change from my own experiences. And my own experiences in education also made me feel that it is not a very human space. It is almost like we're expecting children much more, from the children. Especially now, even when I was there, it was still better. But now the stress and the pressure on the children that almost they were losing their childhood. So I had these impressions, but I didn't know what is a better way out or is there a better way out. So I was completely unaware of the alternatives that were available to any of us. And it was just a coincidence that I was having my landmark education advanced course in Delhi. And that course itself was quite life altering, where we were challenging our belief systems and almost understanding ourselves in a much deeper way. And that gave me a lot of clarity as to why am I doing what I'm doing currently and how would I want to see my life further. So there were multiple things happening simultaneously, as probably it was a destiny call or whatever I call
You were
it.
kind of questioning yourself also?
Yeah, I was in a corporate job, earning very well, but almost every day I would have this discussion with my husband as to what else do I want to do in my life. though it was a full-time job which was giving me full money, but always this question was being discussed as to what else do I want to do with my life. So that clearly, I mean, when I look in hindsight, I can clearly see that I wasn't very content. I wasn't feeling that this is it for me. My heart was wanting something more clearly, but I didn't know what. So we discussed various business ideas, or like anything and everything we were discussing as to what is the possible thing that I could do. And when this landmark education thing happened and I got this clarity, and that education, that course gave me this clarity about really, what my passion could be or is, and it suddenly made materialistic goals disappear. It wasn't about money anymore. For me, when I got that clarity about, when I saw my life, belief systems and everything, and I got that freedom somehow, that it's not about the money, and I want to do something that give me more purpose. And coincidentally, I came across somebody whose child was going into Waldorf school in that course itself, and we get this free one day Monday, which is a break in between, and we thought, okay, while we are here in Delhi, let's go and visit the Waldorf school there. And we just went there, and it was such an eye-opening discussion that we had there with the founder there, and she was very gracious to give us 2.5 hours of her time. And so it was almost like, the layers of questions that I had in me around education started to reveal itself during that conversation. And it also gave me an opening into that there is a different world where education is looked at differently, and I would want to explore that. So yes, the beginning happened from there. And
When was this? Which year?
this is 2014. Early 2014.
And your daughter Ayana, was she born?
Yeah, she was 18 months around that time. And the question of her education was very on my head at that time, because, usually you send children 2.5, 3 to school. So I was already in that exploration phase for the school. And at the same time, this is happening. And so after going through that little discussion with the Delhi founder, I came back with a lot of curiosity about education and about wanting to learn what else is there. And the next 6 months was actually about exploring a lot of different forms of education, understanding Waldorf much better. So I went
Just
for trainings.
From the purpose of for
Exploring.
Ayana, exploring, and for Ayana, I think.
Ayana, but it was also my very deep interest. And that is another part of my story, wherein, see, many people would be unhappy about education that their children are getting, right? But not everybody takes that call
plunge,
of, leaving their whatever they're doing in life to start something new. Why probably it happened with me was because my innate deep interest in child psychology, which was always there, and I had digressed from that interest for the materialistic goals of getting into MBA and doing a corporate. So I have a very clear memory of opting out of psychology honors and going for economics honors during my graduation, because everybody around me advised me that economics has better career prospects. And
who, like the everybody would include, who were the people you were listening to? Parents, relatives?
So my parents had given me a lot of liberty to do whatever I wanted to in my life. In fact, I had a lot of independent decision very early in my life, living in a hostel, and there was nobody telling this is right, this is wrong. I had to make my own judgments, and thankfully so. However, like it was my brother-in-law. You would look forward to people who
Are established,
established and
successful,
successful, but not in a way which was directed. It was just like an advisory that, okay, this is probably better. And generally, when you go to, normally when you're talking to your, like I was preparing for MBA that time also, so the coach there would say, if you have to go towards MBA, then go for economics, why psychology? Though I remember crying leaving that course, like in tears at college level, where my teacher was asking me, why are you crying? Is somebody forcing you to drop it? But I think it was my own expectations from myself that pushed me towards getting into economics, because somehow the financial success at that time was very, very important to me. I mean, that of course, that goes into my background that I really wanted to prove myself, coming from a very small town and then being sent out for education.
Where are you from?
I am from a place called Amroha. It's in UP. It's a small town in UP, and it's famous for mangoes. That's why the name is coming
Okay.
from
And your
Amroha.
parents are still there?
Yeah, my parents are still there, yes. Yeah, so it was, I mean, for me, being sent out for education was a privilege that I received. And my family was kind enough to invest that kind of money in my education. And for me to give back was very important in the financial terms. But Landmark actually gave me that freedom to really look at passion and follow your heart rather than being under this pressure that you have to earn or anything like that. And I had, I mean, my husband who's very supportive till date. There was never a question asked when I left my job that, okay, it's your choice. So I've been blessed with lovely people around me, be it my parents, be it my in-laws family here, that have given me a lot of freedom to follow my heart.
आपने छोड़ा कब जॉब?
2014 itself.
ये सब होते ही आपने you left?
Yeah. I gave my notice period right after the Waldorf trainings that I had.
No, so तब आपके माइंड में ड्वेल होने लग गया कि मैं स्कूल शुरू करती हूँ, या you just were doing it for your kid, या क्या चल रहा था मन में?
हाँ, that's a good question. So 2014, after the training, this was, I think, in May that I had this training. Yeah. And it was very clear to me that my heart is no more in the corporate world. So that was clear that that's something I do not want to do.
correct.
Not that I wasn't enjoying that. I was enjoying that too. I was doing very well for myself. I had wonderful group of people, and the company that I was working for is again a wonderful company. It really takes care of its employees. But I realized that I can be very easily replaced with what I'm doing currently, and that's not where my heart is anymore. And to be able to, like, all my passion that I had towards child psychology when I was in my graduation. So even though I did economics honors, Juhi, I was still studying psychology in the library the whole time. Only the exams were given for economics, but my innate interest of psychology was very deep within me. And my roommate in the hostel was doing psychology honors. I read all her notes out of interest. So I knew my heart is there, but of course, then life takes over. And after that, I did my MBA and joined the corporate job. But when this thing happened, when I came across Waldorf education, and it is very deep into understanding the human being and the child. And as when I say human being, like it's the whole, looking at the whole human being and not looking at it in parts. Like, otherwise I look at mainstream education, essentially it's looking at the head of the human being, how to pass on information to that head. How can that information be reproduced? But Waldorf looks at the whole human being as a, as an entity which has feelings, as an entity, which is more wholesome. So that was so interesting for me that, I mean, I could say that I started the school for my own daughter, but I know that at the end of it, I was so deeply touched by what I was learning out of it, and it just drove me into, because I was enjoying that so much. So it was, yes, I mean, Ayana has always been my inspiration to do things, because there were a lot of times when the going got really tough, and I felt that I had to question myself that is it really the right time for Jaipur to receive something like this? And in those times, I think it was Ayana that kept me going, because I wanted to give her this form of education so strongly. Yeah, so pretty much that.
Interesting. How many schools are there currently? अभी Waldorf schools अगर India में देखें, how many schools are there?
India में there would be around 30 schools, mostly, majorly in South India. North India, the presence is in Delhi and Jaipur and Rajasthan. So North India is still, evolving when it comes to world of education, but South India more so. And I think that is also this skew is not only for world of education, for any alternate education. There are more schools in South India, schools of thought also, as compared to North India.
So, what is the Waldorf philosophy? If we can delve into that, what exactly is that it intrigued you?
Yeah. So my early impressions of Waldorf. So what intrigued me about it, as I said, it is very deeply focused on what are the needs of the child or needs of the human being at any age that they are in and how that evolves with age. So Rudolf Steiner, who gave this entire philosophy, he coined the word called anthroposophy, which essentially means the wisdom of human being. So he coined this term and he was giving lectures, across Europe around the wisdom of human being that he had gathered. And he was more of a clairvoyant, like Buddha, like who's enlightened, who could see beyond. It was not this knowledge that's coming from books for him. He could see it deeper. And for me, an education which is based on what is the need of the person in front of you, right? Like if we, in any business for that matter, if we come to the business word, if you understand the client need and you cater to that, that's what it is, right? Versus coming from your own thought. So this was an education which could understand the child. And the whole system is developed from where the child is, what is this need of this human being, and can we cater to that? Which I found very different. Like if I look at all these other systems, it is about, oh, till 12th we need to teach this. So 11th, let's bring it down to this. 10th, let's bring it down to this. And how in the earlier times the formal education would begin at 6, and now you see at 2 the children are being made to read and write, and without looking at, are their hands even developed, are they able to coherently understand what we are trying to teach them? But no, we are in this rush that we have to teach the child because otherwise the child would be left behind without really understanding what is the need of the child. So this education understands the child so deeply that everything else becomes a secondary thing. That, okay, you are catering to this child, what is the need of the child? And how does this need change with the growing child? So then can we keep catering to that? So it's something like being in the present with the child, right? Like how all of us in our lives, if I talk about in the spiritual way, either we could operate from the past or the fears of the future. But really being in the present is what really
More
matters.
aware.
Yeah, most. It is really about being in the present with this person who's in front of you. Or how do we cater to what is in front without worrying about what's the future? So I found it to be very evolved way of being with children. And it's really about, so Steiner, there's this quote that he says that it's where can you learn how to work with children? It is essentially the book is the child itself who would tell you, what they need. So to be able to connect to children at that level, that's what the learning of, if I have to put it in one line, it would be really about, you see what you're working on and then you work, with that connection with that person. So essentially building that connection with the child and looking at the child as a whole, as I mentioned earlier. So it's holistic in the truest sense, where we are not looking at, okay, let me develop this side of the child or that side, but who is this human being? What is he asking of me? And that is what is most important. And looking at each human being as complete at all points in time.
Correct.
Yeah. So it is not about, we are working towards future or a goal in the future, but the person is complete at all points in time, whether the child is 2, whether the child is 4, they are what they are at that moment. So accepting that and then working, together. Yeah, so what intrigued me most was this deep understanding of, and I feel it's never enough. No matter, it's been 10 years I'm into this education and I'm still learning, and I feel it's never enough to, because it's complex.
It's
not
very
easy.
complex, in
Yeah.
fact. Around COVID, I started this course from one of the apps. It was called Conscious Parenting by Shifali Sabari. My brother
Yeah.
had kind of referred it to me. I also bought the book and I did the entire course. I made notes and everything. I realized in theory तो मेरे अंदर सब चला, काफ़ी कुछ चला गया. Like she says, connect before correct. अपन कनेक्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं. एंड कनेक्ट बिफोर यू करेक्ट. थियोरी बहुत कुछ समझ में आ रहा है बट अप्लाई नहीं कर पा रही थी मैं, यू नो. एंड दैट ब्रिंग्स मी टू माई क्वेश्चन. जैसे मैंने अभी इन 1-2 सालों में थोड़ा आई हैव वर्कड ऑन माई सेल्फ इन अ वर्क आई हैव डन. एंड अब थोड़ा थोड़ा एप्लीकेशन में आ रहा है. वो बातें तब सुनी हुई बातें और अब मैं थोड़ा थोड़ा अप्लाई अब कर पा रही हूँ 2-3 साल बाद. वो भी थोड़ा थोड़ा. तो मैं जब लोगों की बातें सुनती हूँ या आई इनफैक्ट वांटेड टू आस्क यू दिस इनफॉर्मली ऑल्सो कि मुझे लगता है यार कितनी अच्छी बातें बोल रहे हैं कोई भी. जैसे और लोगों की आई थिंक शिफाली ऑल्सो उनका बातें सुनकर ऐसे लगता है वाह दे मस्ट बी सो इवॉल्व्ड, दे मस्ट बी सो. बट देन रियलाइजेशन भी आती है कि इट इज़ नॉट अप्लाई करना, जानना और अप्लाई करना मुश्किल है. तो वही जैसे आपको तो अपने आप को भी क्वेश्चन करना, आपने जाना उदय वॉल्डॉर्फ को एज ए फिलॉसफी आपने लिया, बट उसको फिर अप्लाई करना एवरीडे चैलेंज आता होगा बिकॉज अपने कंडीशनिंग और अपने बिलीव्स वापस वापस आ जाते हैं. अरे ये तो कैसे चलेगा. एंड देन यू ऑल्सो रनिंग अ स्कूल सो यू हैव टू मेक इट viable also. You have to make it, you have to keep the philosophy also in place. You have to train the teachers also. How do you manage all of that? Like what do you do for
So the first thing is acceptance that it is a journey. Nothing can happen in a day or overnight, right? So that is the very first thing. Even now when I work with teachers or I work, like if I talk about my own self first, right? When I started the school, it was not like, oh, I knew it all and I was ready. Or I knew that, okay, this is going to be perfect. Every day, in fact, children, they show you the mirror very beautifully. On a, like, that you went wrong, like their reactions would tell you and things like that. So it's a daily reflection and it's a continuously learning journey. No, nobody is there, like we could probably, so something is knowledge, right? But it becomes wisdom only when you have experienced it, then it goes deeper into you. And when you're daily reflecting on it, so it's a continuous task for me to continuously work on me and see what is it. And especially the most challenging areas are the areas that would make you grow. So any challenges that you find, I have learned over time to embrace them, because I know that's the opportunity for growth for me.
कुछ आप बताइए, like कुछ challenge, something that you went through if you would like to share.
Yeah, as a personal journey, I'll
Personal
tell
journey,
you
हाँ.
that when we started the school, first of all, I never thought myself to be a teacher. When we started the school, I had another teacher who was more world of experienced, and she was supposed to be the teacher and I was supposed to be the management in that. So because I was an MBA and I thought, okay, this is what I could do.
And
I
कितने
can
बच्चों के साथ शुरू किया?
We started with 4 children.
Okay.
So it was and one was my daughter. So it was a very small setup, and we were calling it school for sure. But 4 children, if you see, it's like a very small, intimate center where we are just trying to follow our heart. So I never looked at it as a viability question. It was more like it's something my heart wants to do and I want to do it. It's always been like that, even till date, right? So it's like something that gives me a lot of joy and I want to do that. But of course, there's been non-joyous moments also
And
in the
lots-
journey.
lots
and
of
lots
them,
of them
sure.
because of the challenges. Yeah, so to begin with, when the question came that, okay, there are 4 children and then it became 6 and then again we came back to 2. This person decided to move on, said it's not going to work in Jaipur. So, and that was a big question for me, that now do I want to do it? How? And that had given me some time to train myself a little deeper. This is 1.5 years after we had started the school. But there was still so much to learn for me. And I felt really like this, I have to be the teacher. I questioned myself so much around that, like, am I ready for it? And it was just really, how you learn swimming. You jump into the pool and you have to
By
just...
doing.
By doing, you have to find out whether you can do it or not, or that you would drown probably for some times. And then, so literally it was like that for me, that I jumped into it and I said, okay. And I don't take myself to be a singer. Till date, I'm not a singer. I remember, and Waldorf is very, like in the kindergarten years, we're singing the whole day almost, there are no instructions, we're just singing. And I felt, okay, I have to sing now. The very small things, right? And the first parent toddler that I had, where, okay, singing in front of the children is still okay, they're very non-judgmental. But when I had the first parent toddler program that I was conducting, and I was singing in front of the parents, I felt, oh my God, like,
What am I doing?
totally exposed, okay, do I even know how to sing? And then those first compliments that your voice is so sweet and you sing so
I was
well.
going to say
and,
that, in fact, that you have such a beautiful voice. You would
Yeah.
be singing well.
Okay, I don't want to comment on that. But yeah, it was such a difficult thing to overcome that, okay, are you really meant for this job? And then the love that you receive from children was such a I think that's something that gives you a lot of strength. When you see that the children are connecting to you. So who's a good teacher, really? The one who has a lot of skills or the one who the children relate to and understand. So there was a lot of learning in that sense and to answer your question, yes, of course, at many point in times, I have felt that, am I doing the right thing? Is this right? But it's only when you see the reflection in children and something has gone right that gives you the conviction. And many times I've gone wrong and only questioning myself that how do I make this right now? How do I work on this now? So it's given me a lot of opportunities to work on myself. Working with children is a very deep inner work. I feel like, nothing beats it. If you are reflective of your own self, if you can at the end of the day deeply inquire as to what could be better, it gives you a lot of opportunity to work on your inner self and to face your demons, I would say, to see what are my triggers, what is not working for me, where is that trigger coming from. So it does give you a lot of deeper thought to work upon. So like there was this child who I found very difficult to work with early on, and there was a lot of work that. So he'd come from another mainstream school in Jaipur, and we saw like a lot of aggression in him. Like when he would walk, anything coming in front of him, be it any child, would just be, pushed aside, and he would enter and he would bang the door, and the drawings would be all made with black color and
Dark colours.
dark. Only black he would use, like out of all the colors he would want to pick up, and we would remove the black color, and Waldorf does that for the early years, but he would want that only. And there was something, of course, I could see, but how do I work with this child? Those were real challenges. We started to work very deeply with the parents as to what is happening, how is
You
it
had
happening.
to really develop patience
Yeah, and
while working on other things.
exactly.
as
And
around.
it was, see, it was me questioning to myself that did I really welcome this child into my world? Why is this child presenting himself to me? So, this work is so spiritual that that when two people are meeting, it's a destiny meeting. You can sense that. You can sense that this person has come to make you grow more than anything else, and it's trying to teach you something that you need to learn to be in this journey. So yeah, it was such a beautiful journey to work with that child after I gained that acceptance that, okay, this child is who he is, and now let me see what I can do about it. So there was this book called There is No Such Thing as Difficult Children. It's only your capability to work with them. Like for me, like for both of us, right? If there is a maths problem, it could be very tough for me, it could be very easy for you, right? So the difference is not the maths problem, it is our capability of working with it,
that's
right?
yeah.
So it is exactly that with children. It's some people work with everybody very beautifully, and for some child might be very difficult, but it's about developing your capability to work with that child, and that can only happen when you look within and see what is it that triggering in you working with this child. What is it bringing up for you? And that's where your healing is. That's where you have to go deeper and see what you need to work upon.
But wouldn't you be exhausted by the end of the day?
I have never felt physically exhausted, yes, right? But I've never really felt mentally exhausted with this work. over my last 10 years of experience.
Really?
Yeah, I've never felt that. It's given me rather a lot of energy to work more. I think that can only happen when you're very passionate about something. And I didn't feel it in my previous jobs. But with this work, I really feel energized, really ready to receive more. Physically, yes, it can be very exhausting, and you know that you have to start the day again to get into work, but never like, okay, this is enough. That's never happened over the last 10 years. I really want to go. And I rather I'm very excited even till date after 10 years that I have so much more to learn. It's just never ending.
Never
So
ending.
it's a beautiful work that way, that you can never feel that, yeah, that's done. It's done. So it can never get boring, I feel. And I've never felt, I mean, sometimes not working with children has never been exhausting, but sometimes working with parents could be. Because that world is very different. You're dealing with adult fears and, their anxieties.
yes.
And so that has been challenging.
So वही मैं यही पूछने वाली थी कि जैसे parents, as parents, we do feel, will they be future ready? Will they become very soft as individuals? Resilience आएगा नहीं आएगा? Like I had this for about, I think, 1 year back तक तो ये रहते थे. But I'm seeing Akshat grow up very beautifully, and he can understand his feelings and he can understand emotions really well. So he can understand, he can differentiate his good behavior and bad behavior. And I'm really grateful. But I'm sure a lot of parents must be having these things कि भैया कैसे ये resilient होंगे बच्चे, कैसे ये strong होंगे, बाहर की दुनिया तो इतनी soft नहीं है, या इतना सब उनके feelings के ऊपर तो सब कोई नहीं करने वाले. तो ये कैसे मतलब एक तो मुझे आप examples भी दे सकते हो from other schools जिनके बच्चे pass out हुए हैं, how are they dealing? You must have met lots of students who've passed out. How are they doing?
Yeah. So I think parents' anxieties and questions are not invalid. I only look at it with a lot of empathy, that of course these are the things that are very, very human to think, like how it's going to be, because it's still very new to Jaipur, world of education or alternate schooling for that matter. So it's this.
The concept is new, the school is new.
The concept is new, the school
So there is no
new.
validation.
So there is no validation, and these questions are bound to happen, right? Earlier it would bother me a little, but now it doesn't, because I am only being able to empathize with that question, that yes, it's very valid for anybody to worry or to ask those questions, especially when, and I think it's a lot of gratitude rather that they've still trusted their child with me,
it's a lot of
right?
trust,
Or with Uday. So I know they're coming with a lot of trust, and if they have some questions sometimes, it's my responsibility to be able to cater to those questions. Yeah, but I think I have felt that I need to upgrade my knowledge around how things are going to be, how it's, because even I am evolving with the school, right? Like we are growing one class every year, and it's been a new journey for me as well, as much as it is for the parents. But keeping myself very informed, meeting, as you said, a lot of alumnus of Waldorf, having a lot of discussions with mentors around how it turns out to be, has kept me very well informed. And therefore, at least I know I am very convinced and sure about the journey that, we are about to embark upon. So with my conviction, then I can talk with conviction, right? So because I am convinced that, this is the right way for the children. Right or wrong, no, but yeah, this is one of the ways that one can take in life to become a more holistic being. So one is I did a lot of work around, of course, getting myself convinced about this, that this is the way we would want to follow. And then, of course, when parents are asking about it, or my own experiences with, illness and all, what I see in children is that they are very sure of themselves. The world of children who I have met, they were very evolved at a very young age, and they knew what they want in life. They were very sure of themselves and not scared of trying things. They're like, okay, we are going ahead with this, and let's see what comes with it, right? So, and I think that is beautiful. And that's something we all need to have in us, to just go with the flow, And
as growing up, we shouldn't be more fearful.
yeah,
We should be more explorative.
exactly. So, and it- amazing inner confidence, that's what I felt in all the people that I met. And currently, in terms of the parents questions are usually the career, the field, or
And
right now, like we are reached till grade 6, so board exams, how are they going to, so the questions are very manageable, right now, because we can see the path ahead. Like we can see that, okay, we are going ahead and getting into the board exams, and children would give the exams and they would merge into the world. And right now also, it's not like the children are not interacting with the outside world at all, right? They are very much, as parents move in different circles and they have friends who are outside Waldorf. So it is not like they're not interacting with the outside world. At the same time, it's not that the inner school world is absolutely cozy. So it changes with age within the school, right? So kindergarten, of course, is a very protected environment, and it's a very it's an environment where the teacher-child relationship is, more like nurturing, like a mother. But as they get into primary schooling, things start to open up for them, and there's a lot of learning through stories that they have. Experience stories are essentially experiences of others, right? Like if you can put it that way, and we having detailed conversations around what are you learning out of it, not directly telling them the learnings, but working towards expanding their view of the world from those stories.
like, what are their perspectives? Or,
Exactly.
asking them
Yeah,
around you.
what are their perspective, and to say that, okay, every perspective is right. It's a way of looking at the world, and to really open up their thought processes, around things, around any story for that matter. So they are expanding their thought process, and I think with that expansion, when they enter the world, they're able to see things in a much clearer view, because they're able to understand the motive of one person in doing a certain thing and the another person doing in a certain way. So I am beginning to believe that these children would have lesser judgment around the world, more empathy, and to be able to step into people's shoes in a better way. And therefore, they would be very strong in relationships. And that becomes the core of their being, being very strong at relationships. And when they do that, and to be able to follow your passion without the fear, I think it's going to turn out beautiful. And that's what my experiences with the people, the Waldorf graduates that I met also is, where they're very embracing of everything that's around them. So they know how to create a distance and yet be involved in things. So
Could you tell us any success story of a child who joined early on? And
So for me, every child who's been at there for whatever number of years, or who are still continuing with us, they're all wonderful and they're doing beautiful in their own way. So I don't want to pick up and segregate one particular child around it.
it's just as an example, or as
Yeah,
a
so this particular
story,
child that I talked about earlier,
Huh.
wherein I talked about his aggression and everything, he was with us for around 4 years, I think. Yeah, and then they moved to Bangalore. The family moved to Bangalore, and I mean, each family is so close to me. I'm still in touch because the child is very close
Feels
to me. Yeah,
connected.
I still feel the connection with the whole family, and that's the beauty of Waldorf. That it's not just that you are taking the child in the Waldorf world; it's the whole family coming and connecting, and their ways of being are changing. So while we were working very closely with this child, and the parents, to work on what's bringing in so much aggression and all, there was a deeper work wherein the family started to evolve along with the school. And when they moved to Bangalore, they chose another alternate school there, which was closer to their house. And I recently met the child earlier last year, and it's beautiful to see his journey, and how beautiful he's turned out. And we had conversations. I was visiting that alternate school and I met the child there, not while visiting the family. And I just saw I was visiting classes. He was not even in the class, and I saw his notebooks, and and I realized, oh, it's the same child. And then I connected with the teacher there and I met the child. And it was this, the feeling itself, Juhi, is so great that you've made some positive change in some life. Because knowing from how he was, if he would have continued that journey, I don't know where
What?
the child would have been. So I know that there's some contribution, though I might be sounding arrogant while saying that, but there is something that you've done, which has helped one human being there. And it's not just the child, it's the families connected, wherein it has rippling effects on the family's life also.
I agree. I am one such. In fact, we were having a word downstairs, and I told you that how one leads to the other. So
Yeah.
my journey with Waldorf was just like that. Like he was going to another school, and I don't know. I just met you, and I don't know. It was a calling or what. I don't know. I just felt मैंने कुछ भी नहीं जाना, पता है स्कूल के बारे में क्या है क्या नहीं है, मतलब डीपर कुछ भी मैंने रिसर्च नहीं किया, बट आई जस्ट सेड नहीं, इसको यहाँ से आई वांट टू मूव हिम.
Yeah.
एंड व्हेन आई केम फॉर द ओरिएंटेशन, आई जस्ट केम फॉर द ओरिएंटेशन. एंड ओरिएंटेशन में आपने कहा अगर अक्षत ज्वाइन करेगा तो वो वापस रिपीट करेगा अपना ईयर. एंड आई सेड अच्छा, you said he's not ready to move into grade 1 or KG. So I said ठीक है. I just went, I had the surrender in me, and I said ठीक है, if you're saying so. And मुझे I myself am not a very competitive person. My husband isn't either. We just knew we had to हमारे लिए compassion, kindness, it really matters a lot. So I think वहाँ से बस वो लगा कि भाई अच्छा स्कूल है, एंड फिर ज्वाइन कर लिया.
I think you were one of the very courageous parents as well. But I think everybody's chosen, Uday is quite courageous to follow a path which is less traveled, is what I would say, right? Where you're coming from a belief and a faith that it's going to be okay, right? Though, of course, from where I sit, I know that it's going to be okay. Like with enough examples, enough trainings, enough knowledge about the system. But as a parent, where you have very less information, especially when the time that you're taking the decision, I think it takes a lot of courage by anyone. And then, of course, this thing that you mentioned about that Akshat needed to repeat his level 3, the kindergarten, that comes from this understanding that children, what age they are and what we are offering them, right? Like initially what I talked about. So we needed to be at this, he needed to get what his age was. And, I really felt he wasn't ready to get into the grades at that time. But many people stop at that, like they feel, no, this is not okay. Because again, that is our conditioning, that okay, आगे बढ़ना है, repeat कैसे कर सकते हो, या फिर क्यों करना है, my child is doing so well academically, what is the problem, why should that happen? But I'm glad that you went with that
मुझे
advice.
एक इंसिडेंट याद है. ही वाज डूइंग, कोई दूसरे स्कूल में था अक्षत, और ना तभी बहुत ही अनसेटल्ड, बहुत वो रहता था, है ना. तो ठीक है, फिर यहाँ उदय में एडमिशन किया उनका. एंड आफ्टर 3-4 years, मतलब अभी 3 साल पहले, अभी इज़ 11, 3 साल पहले बोलता है, मम्मा आपने उस स्कूल में तो ना मैं इतना छोटा सा था, मेरा गलती भी नहीं था, एंड मुझे तो क्लास के बाहर खड़ा कर दिया. एंड अभी तक वो बार बार वो इंसिडेंट को याद करता है, जबकि उस समय उसने कुछ भी नहीं कहा. हम लोगों को पता ही नहीं था कि उसको क्लास के बाहर खड़ा कर दिया और उसको पनिशमेंट मिला, एंड उसके इतना डीप मार्क हो गया. लाइक ही मस्ट हैव बीन 4, बट अभी तक ही रिमेंबर्स दैट, एंड ही डजंट रिमेंबर एनीथिंग एल्स. आई विल से और क्या याद है, वो एक इंसिडेंट उसको याद है कि मुझे क्लास के बाहर खड़ा कर दिया, मेरी तो गलती भी नहीं थी. And
yeah, but these early experiences what work into our subconscious, and that's where the belief systems come from. And my first memory is also of, like, of course I studied in a mainstream school. My first memory is also where I am the teacher's given some work and she's shouting at some other child, not even at me, to bring the notebook. And I remember shivering and dropping my notebook, and that's my and that's my first memory. And it's given me a fear of authority, and I had to work a lot on myself to get over that fear of authority. I remember even while I was doing my MBA, even till that time I had fear of authority, that it would be very difficult for me to go to a professor and ask my question. It always, I had to really overcome that fear in the background, that okay, it's okay, you're
It's
a
okay.
grown up now, nobody's going to shout at you like that. Yeah, because
सहम गए थे आप,
yeah,
वो एक
yeah. So
experience, हाँ.
those early experiences really can, stay with you forever in your life if you don't really work on yourself around that. And they're very important. And one of the reasons why I started the school was because I have few of these experiences that are etched in my memory, which I definitely didn't want my daughter to have. One of them being a girl drinking phenyl in the hostel because she was cheating in the exams. And that, of course, now as an adult, I feel, why does that need to happen, right? Like when I was thinking of schooling and everything, I was talking about how much fear of
मीनिंग बिकॉज शी वाज कॉट चीटिंग, तो उसको बहुत शेम फील हुआ, तो फिनाइल पिया उन्होंने.
yeah, I mean, she was a senior. We were still very young. I was in the hostel, and it was all kept so covered up, like, but we only saw the ambulance come and take her from the hostel, and nobody would discuss this topic. Why is this? What really happened? As through, other friends and all, we just figured, oh, she was caught cheating. But what was her mental state, I can never tell, because she never came back. She never joined the school after that. And nobody knows whether she survived or she didn't. It was
Nothing,
kept so much under the cover that nobody knew what really happened. But those experiences really made me question the education system. Like, what really happens that somebody is made to feel so shameful around not performing well or cheating, or why is there so much
or being caught.
yeah. So and what led her to cheat, is of course another question, that you feeling that if you don't perform, you are you're not good enough. Yeah. So those experiences really made me question, and that's where the thing of, I do not want my daughter to go through all that, and there has to be a better way of learning, for the children, and not so fearful way of being.
I think a lot of people are turning towards alternate methods and alternate schooling, homeschooling, unschooling.
Yeah.
Do you think there is enough awareness around it, and you think in the coming 5 to 10 years ये बहुत ज़्यादा rampant हो जाएगा, because अब काफ़ी लोग बात करने लग गए हैं इसके बारे में. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah. So 10 years back when I started the school, absolutely nobody I could hear having these conversations, right? And at that time, I was the one talking about it, and I almost got those vibes that, okay, she's lost it, she's mad. Now, after 10 years, I see people seeking and coming for something like this. Like, they want this form of education. So, of course, I feel Jaipur has evolved quite a bit, and people are understanding this. They're understanding the importance of this. And it would grow in the coming times, because especially the times that we are in today, there is a lot of awareness in people, and the consciousness itself is evolving. The speed of it, I can't really judge, how fast all this would change for the world. But yes, there is a movement, and more and more people are seeking this and are wanting this. So yes, I'm hopeful that, and for the sake of, I think for the sake of a better world for our children.
For a more secure and a more safer world, they should just feel safe, secure, happier, and a better world, I think.
Yeah. I think being accepted is very important. Right now, I also feel there's too much expectations on children, too much, and there's too much comparison as well. And until that stops, the children are never going to feel safe, because they are constantly being pegged against each other to perform. So on one side, that is also increasing because of social media, and then everybody just trying to portray the best side of themselves without looking at the real picture, which kind of puts the pressure on the other person to do just that. At one place, there is that also happening. on the other side, we're also seeing more of people becoming conscious and
I
working
also
towards
I
it.
think that there is more, like, more awareness, more real, more authentic.
I
Yeah.
think, Juhi, you and me live in a place wherein we are surrounded by such people, right? Like my work is around such people. Your work and your journey is also where you are able to find similar people. But the larger picture might be very different. So we probably have the bias of looking around just our, you know, our world that would,
Probably we are bumping into more
yeah,
of such people, so we feel, हाँ, सभी
yeah,
तो ऐसे हैं.
exactly. But it's not so. I mean, Uday is a very small unit, but there are so many schools out there which are full of children. So if everybody was becoming so conscious, the education system would have started to evolve in a different way or transform in a different way, which I don't see happening as of now, at least. Right? Of course, there are more people choosing this, but it has to become so much that everybody is forced to evolve and transform themselves, where the need comes from the outside to inside, that okay, we want this. Yeah, until that happens, I think there's still time for that to happen.
Let's hope it happens really soon. That's
Yeah.
what I wish for. So Gurpreet, now we'll come to a round that is a quick question round. There would be about 5 to 7 questions, and just to know you a little better, like quick questions. What's one piece of advice you would give to aspiring educators?
I think I would want to tell people to choose this only if there is an inner calling, a passion to work with children. Because I also see many people choose this as a convenient career for themselves, that okay, it's a half day job, or because I was earlier doing something else, but now I have kids, so now I want to come into education. But this is a very this is a work which calls for a lot of responsibility. This is a work where you're working with the next generation. So anybody who's coming to it should come with a lot of passion and will to work with the children. So that is, I would say, take it as the first filter, that are you really passionate about education, and then come into it. And that should be your core reason. And then, of course, the other reasons might validate that. But yes, and as I mentioned earlier, look at who you are working with. Like, what is the need of the person in front of you, and work with that with a lot of compassion and kindness, and accepting that child.
If you have to give one word to the world of education, what would it be?
One word to world of education. I mean, the first word that comes to me is holistic, because it truly is. It's looking at the whole human being. So I think I'll go with that. And another word, if I have to give, it would be progressive, because it's constantly, looking at how to evolve yourself, both as a child and as a teacher and as a parent. Everybody's evolving.
You've already answered this, but even then, what's the most rewarding part of your job?
Seeing children come happy to school every day. I think that gives me a lot of joy. And also, like I mentioned that I had this fear of authority, but I see from the little ones to the eldest ones, children walk into my office and just want to share anything and everything. And we share like a very cordial relationship.
They don't feel अरे प्रिंसिपल के ऑफिस में जा रहे
हाँ, मतलब I am in the corridor. I remember in my school, if the principal is on a round, there would be like sannata. Everybody would be in the class. Yeah, and I have these children jumping around in front of me, and I take a lot of pride and joy that that they don't see me or any teacher for that matter as a figure where they have to be behaving differently than what is expected out of them. Right? So if it's a free time where it's a fruit break and everybody's having fun, they are just having fun, and they're not worried about who is in front of us or what it is. And of course, coming very happy to school is what gives me a lot of joy.
A book or resource that has profoundly influenced your educational philosophy or your life?
I think I've met beautiful mentors as a part of my Waldorf journey. The teachers who've been with Waldorf for 40 years. And I see them as these, I almost imagine, okay, if I could be like them, they are my inspiration. How much giving they are selflessly, and there is a radiant glow on their faces, and you're working with, and the love, you can sense
You
that,
can sense it,
sense
of
that
course.
love. And I think those are living books for me, or living mentors, who I see that if I can evolve to be at their level, it would be great, for my own self.
One habit that has significantly contributed to your success.
I think the habit of reflecting or inquiry as to my reactions, where are they coming from or what's happening. This thing of going to the bed with this, trying to review my day as to what went well, what didn't, and how do I intend to see it the next day for myself, or the next time the situation comes up, how do I want to handle it better. So I think this reflection, and this is also a Steiner meditation practice that we picked up, wherein we review the day in the reverse order, going in the reverse order. It doesn't start from the morning, it starts from the night, like, okay, that I see myself lying in the bed, and then going about my day in the reverse order,
This is
like
like
a
when you're
movie.
sleeping.
Yeah, just when I'm about to go to sleep, like when
Oh.
I'm in the bed. That has been one practice that I feel that has contributed a lot in bringing a lot of understanding of myself, and that has really helped me to be able to receive things as they come, and to accept them as they come, and not react, or not, because as I said earlier, there's a lot of whatever is coming our way is what we are attracting. And why are we attracting them is also because there is something in it that we need.
I mean, we need to learn
We
something.
need to learn something from there. And this practice has really helped me see that. Like my earlier practice was doing the same thing, but in the writing form. But now I am able to do it without the writing part, but I'm able to see through it. So with practice, I've come to this, that, okay, I need not write this down now, but still take the learnings from it. Journaling, I started very recently, but it's not my thing. I was doing it as a kid. When I say kid, I mean even up till my MBA and all. Then I stopped journaling. Then with this practice, I started to do this practice as my journal. And now I don't really journal as such.
I want golden nuggets of inspiration, of maybe perspective, of maybe wisdom from your life, from any event, or from any person, book, anything that you can kind of tell us. Maybe कोई story आ रही है आपके mind में कि
For me, the way the life has been right now, or my journey, I feel that everything happens for a reason. And to be able to see that, that in the moment you don't see it, right? But to understand that whatever is happening, there is a reason behind it, and something beautiful would come out of it. And to be able to find in the most difficult situation the silver lining, that okay, this is like world is falling apart for you, and to be able to see what is good in this moment, what is the best part of this, to be able to see that, I think that's what keeps me going, that there is something good in this, even in the worst of the times. And or this trust that there would something good come out of it, right? And when I say this, it seems like, of course, knowledge or something rare, but I have experienced this in my life for myself very deeply, that over the years, from the very beginning till now, like even that incident, if I talk about where I felt the fear of authority, what good has come out of it is that I got into alternate education because of my own experiences, right? Of course, I wouldn't see it then. Yeah, or for the longest part in my life, but you're able to see it now. But now, in the moment also, when something bad is happening, for me to find what is the good out of this, in this situation
you have
as well.
started thinking of that event in the other manner. You
Yeah.
kind of start reflecting when it's happening.
Yeah, when it's happening. So that's where the difference is. Like in hindsight, all of us can see that,
See, correct.
but to be able to see the silver lining in that moment.
Beautiful.
And I think that's a practice that, it comes out of first as a force that you see, okay, what is, again, this is a Steiner practice, and to see what is good even in the worst of times. And so it started as a thing, as a practice that I'm doing it, but now it's just coming naturally to me that, okay, what is good in it? And it keeps you a lot at peace, when you're able to follow this. And it keeps you a lot in sanity that, yes, there is something that is good in this moment also, even when you're amongst the chaos. So, yeah, I mean, I would just say that something that I carry very close to me is this, that to be able to accept whatever is happening and go on with that.
Thank you so much. The conversation with you has been very immersive. It's, I think I will go on reflecting.
Can I also share another thing?
Yes, you
so,
must.
like typically, like Gita, where we say "Karm kareja" or "Fal ki ichha na kar," like that your action is most important and results don't matter. I remember when I started this school, and then we've had 4 children, 6 children, 8, 9, and then in between 1 or 2 parents would leave. And I was so attached to that, like, okay, parents are coming or they're leaving. It would impact me so much because I would become very close to the child or the family. And then to see them go, it would make me feel like my own failure. It would make me feel like, oh, why I'm not able to communicate, how beautiful this education is, or why is the family not accepting it, and what's really happening there. Not that they didn't understand it. Like most often than not, the parents who pulled the children out, I would see the mothers crying with tears while pulling the child out, but there was a lot of outside factors which were beyond their control, for which they had to take that call. But for me, it was very hard to see anybody go, and I would see it as, oh God, like I would get really down in my energy in those times. But now, and over time, this has happened that I feel that I am doing my best and leave the rest, kind of a thing that I just have to do. And whatever is coming out of it, with my best intentions, I'm doing it, and whatever is coming out of it would happen. Like it happened many times that I probably did the orientation in 2015, and I have the family joining the school in 2021, 6, 7, 8 years later, where I have forgotten about them, and they're saying, oh, we met you that year when we couldn't take the call to enroll our child. The school was very small. We didn't have the courage to take this path. But now after 6, 7 years, we're realizing that,
there is enough validation.
There's enough validation. And we are realizing with our experiences that we took a wrong call and we would want to come now and join the school. So over time, I've started to feel it's really about that you're giving a seed, and it would take its own time to grow, and it would show in different ways for different people. And it's just about, you don't know what your work is doing, around, but just do it. And you don't have to worry about the results or be able to put it in concrete numbers. You don't have to do that. As far as you are enjoying it and you're doing it with the best of intentions, it's fine. So that's another, learning that I've had. And again, it's about my own peace that I get with that it's okay. I don't have to worry about the results at all.
You've started living the गीता का जो श्लोक है, वो पहले तो समझ ही नहीं आता है क्या कैसे कर्म करें और फल की इच्छा नहीं करें.
Yeah, it's very difficult to detach yourself from it.
It's very difficult.
Yeah, but I feel now I don't get impacted with any of that. Or even if I do get impacted, it's easier to bounce back. With anything, something major or something, it's very easy for me to bounce back right now. So yes, I feel, yes, that's happened. It's come as a wisdom now, maybe with age or with experience or whatever.
So Gurpreet, on that note, मैं तो reflective mode में already जा चुकी हूँ. I think tonight I'm just going to think a lot about our conversation. And I really had a very deep, immersive, good conversation. I enjoyed it so much.
Likewise. Likewise.
And I think through these sharings, we just kind of get to know ourselves also better, you know.
That is true. I really enjoy being called for any of the conversations because it just gives me time to reflect on this journey myself. Because otherwise, when do we take out that time, right?
Correct.
So, yeah, thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.
I also really, really enjoyed it.
Namaste. Thank you so much.
Thank you.